Being one of the largest anime franchises in the world, Naruto has gotten its fair share of weird spin-offs, but I think I've found the most convoluted one yet. Naruto Powerful Shippuden is a 3DS exclusive game based off of the anime of a spin-off manga of Naruto centered around a chibi art style Rock Lee. It's safe to say that Naruto Powerful Shippuden is one of the weirdest Naruto games I've ever played. Let me tell you why. Rock Lee's Springtime of Youth Full Power Ninja Chronicles was a non-canon spin-off manga of Naruto centered around the goofy antics of Rock Lee and Team Guy. The manga uses a chibi art style and often reads like a parody of its parent series with nonsensical and over-the-top humor. It also got an anime adaptation called Naruto SD Rock Lee's Springtime of Youth Full Power Ninja Chronicles, which was specifically a spin-off of then airing at the time Naruto Shippuden. How do I know that this was a spin-off? Well, its localized name is Naruto Spin-Off Rock Lee and His Ninja Pals. I wouldn't say that this spin-off manga was a mega hit or anything, but it had its moments and it had its fans. But I don't think that was reason enough to develop a whole game based around it. But regardless of what I think, publisher Bandai Namco and developer Inti Creates, known for their library of anime licensed games and their involvement in Mighty No. 9, thought it was a good idea. Little ironic there. Naruto Powerful Shippuden was set to release exclusively on the 3DS. I think the 3DS was a good choice for this game. It's based on an obscure spin-off that oftentimes caters towards a younger crowd. The 3DS was a good platform of choice, as the target audience for this game was going to be die-hard Naruto fans and children. And me. Naruto Powerful Shippuden would go on to release in Japan on November 29th, 2012, with North America and Europe getting it a few months later on March 5th and March 18th, 2013, respectively. I'm honestly pretty surprised that this got such a wide release. This seems like one of those games that would get a Japan exclusive release, but I guess considering it is technically still a Naruto game, Bandai figured it could do well with a global release. That being said, this game certainly wasn't making waves. It currently sits at a 71 critic score and a 5.8 user score on Metacritic. I think my favorite sign of this game not being very high quality was that a number of the copies produced at launch misspelled Naruto on the spine as Naruto. And the complaints ran deeper than the incorrect cover art. Many called out the game for its repetitive gameplay, weird missions, and writing that, while humorous at times, certainly is for a younger demographic. But what do I think? Yeah, no, I agree with most of what I just said. Naruto Powerful Shippuden is a side-scrolling brawler. Levels range from beat-em-up stages to light platforming, but the meat and potatoes of this game is going to be the combat, which isn't really the best. You've got your standard movement here, jumping, dashing, but it all feels quite sluggish. You don't move very smoothly. It's just got this level of jank to it. In terms of your combat, you have a standard combo, which can also be turned into block breakers, knockdowns, and knock-ups. You also have a special attack, one on the ground and one in mid-air. These use chakra just like your jutsus, such as the primary Lotus. You can also call upon up to 3 different supports in one match. Finally, you can block and use substitution jutsus using chakra. I'm glad that there are some more advanced mechanics here. There's even dash canceling, which allows you to extend combos, but it just has this inescapable level of jank to it. It's hard to describe without playing it yourself, but nothing ever really feels good to control. It also doesn't help that most of the time, levels just boil down to mashing buttons. At least you have something to work towards in some form of progression, as there are multiple RPG elements here. You're able to earn XP, which can then be used to upgrade various stats and moves, including your base stats, your chakra reserves, your skills, your resistance to enemy attacks, your ninja tools, and your supports. But even when you have these forms of progression, it doesn't help that the missions are still repetitive and boring. Mission objectives can range heavily, but most involve either simply brawling or simply platforming. Some missions are just defeat all the enemies, others are make it to the end of the stage, and you will occasionally get some more unique ones, like prevent the enemies from passing this point, but they all just kind of blur together, because when most of these just boil down to defeat these enemies, and by that it basically just means mash buttons, it gets very monotonous. What keeps things somewhat engaging are the personal mission rules. Essentially, each mission will have 5 different tasks that you can choose from, all ranging in difficulty from easy to hard. Some will be complete this stage under this amount of time, or only use support attacks, and you get to choose which one to complete, with the more difficult ones rewarding you with more XP. And even if you fail this additional mission criteria, you still pass the stage, so you essentially have to gamble whether you receive additional XP or not. I think it's an interesting take on bonus objectives, something I haven't really seen done before, and I think I know why I haven't seen it done before. Because it's dumb. Yes, you have that gambling aspect, but why not just make all of the objectives available? Whichever ones you do complete is the XP bonus you get. Maybe some of you out there like this system, but to me it just screams we need to pad out the runtime so make some arbitrary XP system. Because in this game, you actually do need XP to progress. There are levels that have a recommended player level, which technically you can play these even if you're under-leveled, but it'll be wicked difficult to beat. So you essentially have to level up if you want any chance at passing them. Another weird thing to me, this one is more nitpicky than anything, is the key system. Beating some stages will net you keys, which will then allow you to unlock more stages. Now in this campaign there are two maps, one where you play as Naruto and one where you play as Rock Lee. Each character has their own moveset and storylines, as well as their own keys, except some stages will require keys from the other characters. For example, I was playing through Naruto's campaign and I got to a locked stage that required a Rock Lee key. Why? What if you want to just play straight through Naruto's campaign, then jump over to Rock Lee's, or vice versa? Well, you just can't, because you need to switch back and forth between the two to actually progress. It's just weird additions like those. While yes, you can write them off as nitpicks, it just seems to me like they're trying to artificially pad out the runtime, which is already really short to begin with. While there is no story mode, the missions follow a loose story, with Naruto's campaign going through the Pain arc, and Rock Lee's campaign featuring an original story. But since this is based off the Rock Lee spin-off, the story is not taken seriously whatsoever, and often relies on jokes and nonsensical humor. I just found myself chuckling at a couple of the jokes here and there, but it does get kind of stale after a while, at least for me personally. Even got to the point where I would just spam through the dialogue, until I realized that there's an option you can turn on that just skips all the dialogue. The presentation of this game is kind of a mixed bag. I think it's cool that they use the chibi art style in the gameplay, but I can definitely understand it coming off as cheap to some people. Definitely some of the enemy designs look pretty generic. Like if I didn't tell you these were from a Naruto game, you would have never guessed. I also don't like how the actual characters and enemies are in this 2D art style, whilst the backgrounds and stages are all 3D environments. It creates this weird jarring contrast. And some of these stages just straight up look bad, like the Samurai Bridge. And others are just confusing. Like there's this forest with branches that you can jump on, but half the time it doesn't look like you can jump on them, but you actually can. I don't know, man, it's weird. In terms of the cutscenes, they're passable. They're fully voice acted, but only in Japanese, no English dub. The visuals are just sprites and text boxes, but for a handheld game, that's perfectly fine. I think my favorite part of the presentation is that in the settings you can change your button layout, and there's a preset already in there called Maniac, which all it does is it just changes a couple of the buttons, and the game acts as if this is a challenge to use. Naruto Powerful Shippuden is a weird game. I don't know why they were compelled to make a game about the Rock Lee spin-off anime and manga, but they did it anyways. It most definitely wasn't a huge success. There are plenty of flaws to be found here, like the basic gameplay, the repetitive and frankly weird mission system, and the at times lackluster presentation. I will say this though, there definitely is an audience for this game. While the humor wasn't really my thing, there's gotta be someone out there who it is for. While the missions do get repetitive, I think it works best on a handheld platform like this. Maybe you just do a couple of missions here and there when you're out and about. That'd probably help it feel less stale. Is this one of the worst Naruto games out there? No. Is it good? Not really, but all things considered, it's pretty inoffensive. Comparing it to a game like Naruto Dragon Blade Chronicles, I'd rather take Naruto Powerful Shippuden because at least it's got some unique charm to it. But with all that being said, I still don't recommend playing this game.